This is Weasel News.
I can't believe we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto here on Good Day New York, but let's do it because
never has there been an opening like this in the entertainment industry.
$800 million, that's how much the video game Grand Theft Auto 5 brought in after its first day.
It's a video game that is shattering sales records.
That is to say the least.
No movie or music release has ever come close to that, and it is extremely violent.
There's a good chance that my children will be involved in crime at some point.
There was a Harvard study done in 2007 that was funded by the Department of Justice that you can read about in a new book called Grand Theft Childhood that shows of 1,200 kids surveyed, they were no more likely than any other kids to become violent criminals, and in many cases maybe less likely to commit offenses just by virtue of the fact that they actually have an outlet like Grand Theft Auto for their anger.
You gotta realize that you're almost half a year away from actually sitting down with your controller, looking at your screen, playing Grand Theft Auto 6, and what Rockstar Games is cooking up is absolutely insane. They are secretly working on so many AI technologies, and the glimpses that we have as GTA fans who are researching everything, patents that are filed, and deep analysis of the official trailers, artworks, a screenshot that we got, I would love to explain in this video what you are missing and the crazy innovative heights they are taking to create a lifelike simulation that is super fun and that you've never seen ever before. Your mind is gonna be blown. So let me explain to you what the most advanced AI in any game ever is going to look like. And the first part of the quote-unquote AI revolution in gaming will be a simulated society where every NPC has its own patterns, moods, and no NPC will ever be the same. Let me explain. If you've played any open world game before, you know this feeling that you see a pedestrian acting weird, driving into a wall or walking into a wall or vanishing the second that you turn around and then turn back, and it really breaks the illusion, but it kind of has its charm. Well, that charm is gonna go away in Grand Theft Auto 6 because Rockstar Games is not just giving us a new map with this game. They are building upon the advanced technologies of Red Dead Redemption 2, and in addition to that, they have created never seen before AI technology that is made to build a functioning society within the state of Leonida. This is much more than simple programming because the people in Leonida and Vice City aren't running on basic predetermined scripts anymore. They're actually controlled by a system designed to simulate life, consequence, and personality. And every single NPC, from this fat woman driving the mobility scooter, which by the way I am going to steal, to this fat dude just chilling with his metal detector right there trying to find some money, they are operating under a much deeper rule set, making the virtual world feel genuinely alive, independent from the player. Going back to this beach screenshot, you have things like beach goers, a metal detector guy, a lifeguard on duty, and the sheer density and variety of activities require an AI system capable of managing thousands of unique routines and interactions at once without collapsing under the load. The secret is a set of proprietary systems and patent technologies focused on three major pillars. The first one is real-time reactions, the second one is sophisticated movement, and the third one is persistent world states. And we're gonna talk about all of this in this video. When you combine those things, you get a world where your actions have actual weight and where every person you meet is capable of surprising you. So let's talk about the science of movement with the procedural animation, because in older games, characters move using what's called a pre-canned animation system. So if a character needs to sit down, they play a file called sit lower score down lower score A, and if they need to run, they play run lower score forward lower score B, etc, etc. You get the gist. And this limits the variety and makes every character feel identical. Rockstar is moving away from that rigid setup. They have developed a system where NPC movement is generated procedurally in real time. So think of it of less like playing a file and more like mixing chemical components. Basically what the system does is combining small animation building blocks based on a character's character's current state. So for example, if an NPC is tired, injured, and it starts raining, the AI takes the tired block and the injured block and the rain reaction block, smoothly blend them all together to create a unique walk cycle. And the result is that no two NPCs will walk, run, or swim exactly the same way anymore. And these procedural animations extend to literally everything. When an NPC is taking cover in a gunfight, they will gradually adjust their height and position based on the size of the fence or car they're hiding behind. It's an attention to detail that makes even a basic animation feel so genuine, and this is really what makes the difference in the AI of Grand Theft Auto 6, all the NPCs. This procedural thinking also applies to how characters deal with weather. We know that Leonida has very volatile weather, and the AI will see the environment changing. They will actually see and notice this stuff and prompt NPCs to realistically seek shelter, or maybe just put on a rain jacket or an umbrella, pop that thing open. The patents even describe how a character's appearance should change, and that's not just the clothing, it's the body itself. If they've exerted a lot of energy, they might appear sweaty, and we've seen this with Jason, fixing the leaks, doing a lot of stuff on that very hot rooftop. You see that he's sweating all over the place, and you even see it in a couple of screenshots as well. But if the weather is rainy or cold, their posture and also clothing should change to reflect that. It's about letting the environment truly affect the people in it, and that's what's so beautiful about this game. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm trying to get to 9,000 subs. I upload very regularly, making you hyped for GTA 6, but let's get back to the video. Now let's go to the next thing, which is smart driving and the traffic simulation, because there is a lot of clips from GTA 4 where you're on that one bridge and you just can put your car in a certain spot where the NPCs in the cars who are driving just willingly drop off of the bridge. They all jump off the bridge. And again, this is a part of the charm of bad scripting, but GTA 6 is not gonna have this. It's gonna be super advanced, and we got a little glimpse of that as well, about how it's gonna be made behind the scenes. In GTA 6, the system handling vehicle navigation is designed to create a driving environment so real that you might even forget it's a game. And maybe that sounds a little bit too hyped up, it probably is, but hear me out, because this is crazy. This patented technology gives vehicle AI a much broader situational awareness. Instead of only seeing the car right in front of them, NPCs now process external factors across the road network. So it's going to be a whole road network, and they will analyze the road and the conditions as well, which we'll talk about, to make actual decisions. So imagine this for just an example, right? A major accident happens on Vice City's main freeway. An older game like GTA 4 or 5 would just keep funneling cars into the backup, right? The new AI, however, will recognize the traffic obstruction and route the vehicles onto different streets. If it starts to rain, the AI will register the slick roads and tell certain vehicles to slow down or even avoid that route altogether. And it really depends on what NPC you are dealing with, because people might also hop out of the car just to check if the people in the accident aren't hurt. They might make videos of the accident and call the ambulance and the police and fire department if the vehicle happened to be on fire within the crash. And I think this is very important to realize, because in GTA 5 and 4 it kind of felt like you have NPCs and you have cars, and they're kind of two separate things, you know? It never feels like there's an actual person driving the car. It's just either an NPC walking or a car driving. And this is what makes me personally really excited, because every driver has their own driving personality and skill profile. So these characteristics define things like acceleration rate, braking distance, top speed, and how aggressively they take corners. And again, to compare this, in previous GTAs all the drivers were kind of the same. There wasn't really a lot of personality, but in GTA 6 a street racer in a sports car will drive very differently from a cautious senior citizen on a residential road. This means that that when you are caught up in a chase, the other cars on the road will be a part of the chaos, capable of speeding, crashing, or aggressively changing lanes, all based on their individual profile. And the new system helps to keep NPCs active even when they are not near the player. They don't simply vanish from existence a few blocks away. They continue to travel and stick together to their programmed schedules, which helps ensure that if you revisit part of the map, it feels like time has actually passed and the population has kept moving. And that is super cool. I love that about what they're doing with GTA 6. Of course, in this game you will be a criminal, but the improvements to AI extend directly to the other side of the law as well, the police. The cops will be more smart, more coordinated, and their response will be far less predictable, which I think is gonna be really fun. And you gotta hear this, because the police AI will now use sophisticated tactics based on the severity of your crime. This means that if you commit a minor offense, they might attempt to de-escalate the situation using verbal commands. And just like in Red Dead Redemption, you can kind of talk your way out of this. But if you are a high-level threat, if you do what Lucia just did right there, just blowing up every single police vehicle with a grenade launcher, they will coordinate way better using smarter maneuvers during a chase and employing a measured response to take you down. The leaks from 2022, which I cannot show on screen because that's illegal, but they suggest that there's going to be detectives investigating crime scenes, bringing in NPCs for questioning, and even deploying K9 dog units, maybe for drug evidence or just to hunt you down. And these are real-time events that will unfold in the game world, which is going to create a sense of an actual investigation against you. The next thing we talked about briefly, but civilian reactions, they're also going to be much sharper. NPCs in Leonida possess a memory system now, where they register the player's presence and action. So if Lucia or Jason commit a robbery in a specific neighborhood, the residents might remember you, and their behavior towards you later could change. This builds upon that level of consequence that Red Dead Redemption had, where you could shoot up a town and people would actually remember you. You know why this guy has bandage on his head and he is not really happy to see me? It's because I blew his face off, and this is gonna be much more in-depth in GTA 6. Of course, the main thing that you already know, the social media effects in the trailers. So when you cause chaos, people don't just run away, they literally pull out their phones to record you. And the public is part of the world's security network. The videos they will take will fuel the in-game social media feeds and news cycle, turning you into a local celebrity or a notorious criminal, depending on what you do, of course. So the NPCs are not just witnesses, they are like active participants in generating the game's story, which is just amazing how in-depth they're gonna go with this game, man. Talking of in-depth, let's talk about the world depth, because the AI also works behind the scenes to build every environment you play in. We know that Rockstar has used procedural generation, not just for movement, but for world details. The system uses simple tags like old, cheap, high-end, things like that, to instantly generate the look and atmosphere of an area. This suggests that the characters of locations like Port Gellhorn, described as being fueled by malt liquor and painkillers, it's not just a set dressing, but a fundamental trait that the AI uses to define people, the cars, and even the objects you find there. This ability to create realistic clutter and unique spaces makes the number of enterable buildings potentially huge, as the world doesn't need to be meticulously hand-placed piece by piece, because the AI is placing all these objects. So basically what they're doing is they're making all sorts of models in different shapes and sizes, and they will categorize all of them for specific areas, specific moods, specific styles, maybe even per hotel building. And then what they do is they put a huge invisible box in the room and tell the AI generate, for example, furniture here that makes sense. And so all these pre-made models are gonna have generative randomized locations that feel like it's placed manually, but it's actually the AI that placed them. And of course, after that, the developers will go and check if everything does make sense. They will maybe change some location of objects by hand, and then it'll go to quality control. They will do their thing, and then, you know, you have some more quality control because Rockstar Games wants quality. So it's not just AI generated slop, if that's what you think it's gonna be. They're gonna make sure that everything is looked at that is generated, and especially the things that are generated, and all of that just to create these unique environments. And finally, we have the natural world, of course, which is a major part of the state of Leonida. The official description of the Grass River's wetlands mentions gators and far deadlier predators. The wildlife AI in Grand Theft Auto 6 will be more elaborate than ever before, building on what they've learned from Red Dead Redemption 2. The animals will behave in believable packs, hunt each other, and respond to the presence of both the players and the city dwellers who venture into their territory. From the massive gators to the subtle movements of birds, the AI will ensure that the wilderness is as alive and dangerous as the city streets. And the types of personalities for these animals are also going to be very unique. It might be that you have different cats in Vice City, because we saw a cat when Jason was walking out of that grocery store. There's gonna be bigger cats, smaller cats, and they're gonna have their own personality as well. It's not just gonna be the human NPCs, it's also going to be the animals that Rockstar is going to have these building blocks of procedural AI technology that they're using. We also know that the Mount Calaga National Park offers quote-unquote prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails. This word hunting confirms that animal interaction will be a feature that you can engage with directly. For hunting to be prime, the prey needs to be smart. It needs to utilize the terrain, weather, and traffic when they're in Vice City, but not necessarily in the national park, to avoid detection, forcing the player to adapt their strategy. For example, a deer might have the AI characteristic of being very scared very quickly, making it flee the moment it hears a twig snap. But another deer might be just really chill and don't really get bothered unless you get really close. And this is kind of a mix of those personality traits, but also how much research Rockstar is doing into these personalities that these animals have. The system's ability to manage large-scale behavior with efficiency means we will see wildlife volumes we haven't seen since Red Dead Redemption 2, but also so much more. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to a core principle. Every element in Leonida should have an active life that doesn't just cater to the player. The wildlife in the swamps, the birds over Vice City, the marine animals in the coastal waters, they will all be functioning with an advanced, centralized brain. This is how Rockstar achieves the next generation of open world realism. The deep tech patents coupled with the official descriptions of the state's dangerous and weird wildlife paints a very exciting picture, of course, and it shows that the team is preparing a vast and beautiful and sometimes terrifying ecosystem. And just like how the cars and the NPCs are not two separate things but intertwined, it's the same with the animals and human NPCs. Because in this screenshot for the Grass Rivers, you can see that there's actual hunters right here that have hunted down these alligators and these wild cats. And also here in Mount Calaga National Parks, these are NPCs who are actually going to hunt, and you know, they're doing their thing. So it's a breathing world where everything is connected with each other, and that is what I think makes GTA 6 so special. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this is correct what I'm saying right now, but in Red Dead Redemption, I don't know if there is a lot of like NPCs that are actively hunting animals. It's like they're just either NPCs doing their own thing and the animals are already hunted, and then it's separated from, you know, the animals who are just kind of chilling. I think only Arthur Morgan is the one who is hunting everything, except for missions and, you know, special events and that type of stuff. So let me know if I'm wrong with that, but if I'm correct, then GTA 6 will be the first time where the whole world is gonna be connected, which is insane because you also have the city and all kinds of other areas that are going to be super dope. So yeah, man, I think this is gonna be so good. I keep saying this in every video almost, that people are not prepared enough for how crazy this game is gonna be, and I feel like a lot of people don't even know all of this stuff, even though, you know, through the grapevine you've probably seen other people talk about this, but the depth that GTA 6 will go into is absolutely insane. So hopefully you got some new information, and this video got you a little bit more hyped for Grand Theft Auto 6 coming in almost half a year. We're very close, and new trailers are going to be coming in very quick, maybe next month, so look forward to that. Thank you to Rolfcore for being a member, and to everybody else, see you guys next time. Bye bye.